जय जयकारा जय जयकारा स्वामी देना साथ हमारा। जय जयकारा जय जयकारा स्वामी देना साथ हमारा।
Hello everyone, I am Sumit Kumar Goswami. I am going to analyze the poem of Robert Frost named as The Road That Not Taken. It was written by Robert Frost in 1915 during the World War I. The World War I was held between 1914 to 1918, and in this period this poem was written by Robert Frost to his friend Edward Thomas. And let's analyze this poem line by line with Sumit Kumar Goswami. Uh, Here, here the poet is saying that two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Yellow wood means what? When the trees have lost their greeniness and turned to yellow. And in that wood he went there, and there he sees that. And sorry, I could. There he sees that two paths which has been diverged to the opposite sides. And sorry, I could not travel both. And being one traveler, he is unable to travel in the both directions. That's why what will be after and be one traveler long I stood, and thou he stood there and wait for someone to come and give company to him. After a long time, he had spent there, and after it, I looked down as far as I could, and he looked down after that as far as the eyesight of a common man goes. Okay, to where it bent in the undergrowth, where it has been diverged in the wood, and the road must be vanished and the grasses will be arched. Okay, and in this line, it is a very fine example of anaphora. I am saying that anaphora because here and is a repeated size. Here it is and. And is repeated as size that we know is anaphora at this line. In this rhyming scheme is it is A and it is B. It is A, it is A, and it is B. The first rhyming scheme we are going that A, B, A, B. Okay. Then we will see at the next stanza. Then took the other just as fair. After going there, he took the another way that was much fair than the other. Okay. And having perhaps the better claim. After that, his mind was also in doubt and dilemma that I must have to choose that path or not. But he proceeded on that following way which the poet chose. Okay. But it was grassy and unwanted where thou as for that the passing there had all them really about the same. In this line, where the poet is saying that he took the another way to proceed and to there, perhaps here it is saying that perhaps is also is here, which is also a doubt that 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 way I must have to choose because he chose that path on which there was no one has gone because the grass was so grassy and wanted where thou as for that the passing there because there was no ruthlessness and many less persons have traveled through that path so he chose that one. had warned them really about the same. Had warned them really about the same. But here in this chapter, the poet is only thinking that path was also same as this it is. Okay, and here we will see that rhyming scheme here is here. Firstly, a rhyming scheme where we are going to talking that let it be here it would here it has been A B, and there we will say that it will be C, it will be D, it will be where is C, and it will be T. Sorry, where C and D, because because of the rhyming sounds. And here it is a type of alliteration is also remarkable here in this says alliteration. Alliteration is what? Hana, alliteration we are going to discuss about the repetition. The repetition of same sound or syllable is known as alliteration. Here its example is here wa wa sound. Okay, and the in this C line, here's the better claim. Here H sound has, and here has us. Here and in this one is. And that is means of alliteration, and they add this place. And after that, the poet is saying that, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no steps had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. In this in these four stanzas, the poet is self saying that that morning it means it means what he is comparing the two paths there which has been left by him and the path which has been chosen by him. The leaves, sorry, the leaves no no step ahead trodden black. Trodden black means what? Trodden black here comes for the crushing from feet. Because if you are going to travel and on a grassy land, then the grasses will be crushed by your feet and it becomes black. That's why he has written this one only to make make his sense come true. And oh, I kept the first for the another day. And he was traveling in the same direction on the another path, and yet he is also compromising that after some time, if he will come to that path, that stage where he was standing, and from there and from that stage he began his another path on which he can travel. There the two lines had been cleared. I doubted if I should ever come back. Yet his knowing that how way leads on to way, because the way has many diversions and according to the poet, the way of life will be diverted into the another and to the another and to the another way. It's let's it has been say, and we will now see its rhyming scheme. It will be E F E E and the rhyming sound is totally dependent upon the pronunciation of the last word, which would be very similar, and that the last word said that here it is odd, then it is both, and this one odd is stood, and both is growth, and stood could. Then here in the second line, pair, bear, bear, and claim, same, and actually here you are watching that lay, back, lay is here, a, and back is here, back, and lay is here, day, and day is here, way. We have the sounds which makes an impression, that which called rhyming sound. Okay. After that, he is telling about the future, and in the future, what would come in the future, he is presenting that sense that I shall be telling this with a sigh. Here, he is saying that he is it is totally dependent upon the mentality and the sentiments of man, that what he has gained and he has lost for the future, and what he has gained and lost for the future, lost in the past and gain in the future. Okay. And hence there he is telling that after some time he will be telling this with a sigh, means ah bharte hue. In Hindi we used to call it somewhere ages and ages hands. It means that generation to generation. Okay. Because every writer is immortal. Everyone who used to write, he has the immortal flames. And now he is not with us. He had died in 1963 and born in 1874. But he is immortal with us during this book and for this poem. Not for this poem, he has written many poems and he belonged to Hampshire in UK. Okay, and here we will see that a very vast example of metaphors also. Metaphor I had discussed about it, that metaphor here, that it means that the comparison between two different or two dissimilar things on all various points are known as metaphor. In Hindi, we used to call it Upma Alankar. And now, here, what he is saying to his next generation, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and he took the one road which was less travelled, and that has made all the difference. And from that he had made the difference and he became the immortal, and his world sorry and his poems became the world famous poems of the world, not from India, not in but in the whole world. His poems are so much clear and so much famous. That's all. Thank you for being with me, Sumit Kumar Goswami. I am the director of Sasam Toilet, which is addressed in East Lane of Shia Masjid, Chandrakala Niwas, Dahiyawa, Chhapra, Saran, Bihar. My mobile number is 850-756-4042. Thank you for being with me. Thanks a lot. हो गया बेटा।
तुमसे निगाहें चार करने लगे, हम जिंदगी से प्यार करने लगे। डरते न थे मौत से, अब मगर डरने लगे। आवाज़